All right, what's going on, everyone? So today's video is about whether or not you should purchase the new Model 3 Highland. The Tesla Model 3 Highland has just come out. It is 2024 version, and I'm coming from a perspective of someone who's owned a Model 3 Performance, a Tesla Model Y Performance, as well as a Tesla Model S long range refresh. So I've seen all the Teslas, and basically I have an understanding of which Tesla you should get. So also actually have a Model X long range as well, the refresh one. So kind of really updated on the Teslas, and I want to give you guys my experience driving the car and whether or not you should purchase it. So quick updates about the Model 3 Highland. We have a new steering wheel. We also have a new seats, new suspension, new headlights, new interior, new center console, as well as new user interface on the car. The screen is largely the same on the Model 3 Highland with the old Model 3s. However, the interior is a lot different. With regards to the interior, a lot of big updates. My favorite is actually the light within the car. It's like an LED light that you can change and modify throughout the car. So I like that a lot. Also, the car has new exterior when it comes to the wheels. Air wheels have a revamped look, as well as they have a different look when it comes to the new headlights. That's why everyone's calling it the new mini Model S. I think it looks nicer and a lot more aggressive. I've only driven the rear wheel drive. I will be driving the long range soon, and overall I've been very impressed. Usually when you have a Model 3 long range, you'll have a smoother suspension, you have dual motor, it feels a lot better compared to rear wheel drive. This rear wheel drive was so smooth. To be honest, I'm tempted to trade in the Model S long range for this car because it was a lot smoother drive than the Model S. The suspension is not bumpy at all on the new Model 3 Highland, as well as the car itself has a very nice acceleration for the rear wheel drive. I think you have around 272 miles or so for the rear wheel drive, and then around 340 for the long range, which is more than enough. But Tesla, just know that you kind of have to multiply it by 80% or 0.8, then that's your kind of like your true driving range on the car. So keep that in mind whenever you are purchasing a Tesla. Also, new features with this car is that the stocks are gone. And at first you might be thinking, oh man, I love these stocks. There's no stocks. What am I going to do? But no, the stocks are pretty kind of, you'll forget about it. Like driving the Model S, you just flick it up and down. And then that's how you go on the screen, you flick up for drive, back for reverse, you press P for park. And then that's how you start and reverse the car. At first I thought like, oh man, I need these stocks. It's kind of like I'm used to it. However, it's nice because Tesla has this beta feature where the car uses its cameras to recognize whether you want to reverse or drive forward. You just press on the brake, depending if there's a wall in front of you, no wall behind you. If there's no wall in front of you, the car is going to go forward. If there's a wall behind you, the car will go forward. Similar to reverse, right? It will recognize whether or not you should go reverse or drive, and then you press P for park. I really like that. Another thing too about the car is that the car has a new trunk that opens and closes a lot quieter than the usual trunk. So if you ever had a Model 3 or Model Y, you notice that it slams pretty hard when it closes the trunk, as well as when it opens it. It's very kind of clunky, but now it's a lot smoother than the previous car, right? So my biggest kind of update with this car, to be honest with you, all these great little knickknacks has been the suspension, right? If you want a very comfortable ride, I would say get a Model 3 refresh, right? I've driven the Model 3 Highland 2024. I've driven the first Model 3 that first came out, and I've also driven like the refresh one that came out in 2021. This 2024 one has definitely been my most favorite version of the car, because of the driving experience itself. The only thing about this Model 3 Highland is that it no longer qualifies for the $7,500 rebate, federal tax rebate, which is unfortunate. So the thing is with that is that because it doesn't qualify for that $7,500 rebate, you might as well honestly buy a Model Y if you want a big car, because it's going to be the same price or even a little bit cheaper for the Model Y, because it still qualifies for that $7,500 federal rebate. And that $7,500 federal rebate is also applied to the purchase price of the car. So say the car is $50,000, you apply the $7,500 rebate upon purchase. So now you're only paying $42,500, which is a big discount, especially for the Model Y, which is honestly a great car. Another cool thing about the Model 3 though is that you do have like these the back seat monitor for people, for your kids, for your family members, whoever it is, to control the air conditioning as well as to watch entertainment like TikTok, YouTube, I believe, on the car, which is pretty cool. I think that's one of the cool features that's only available on S, but now it's available on the Model 3. So that's a huge update as well from that perspective, just like the infotainment system part of it. And then for the Model 3 versus like all the other cars, I think it's the most bang for your buck car if you want a quick, nimble car that's easy to park anywhere, that's easy to drive, fun to drive, and has great suspension. If you compare it to the Model S looks the coolest in my opinion. However, the suspension is a little bit bumpy. I have the arachne wheels. Also, the car is really big, so sometimes it's hard to park everywhere. However, the range on the Model S is undefeated. I think you're at 405 range, which is crazy amount of range. So I think that's really cool. But the 3 is a lot easier to drive, and it is easier to park. However, it does have less space in the car. So just keep that in mind if you're driving the 3 compared to the S. The Model 3 compared to the Model Y. The Model Y, the suspension is not as smooth as the Model 3. I've driven the long range on the Gemini wheels as well as the performance. Not that smooth compared to the Model 3. The Model 3 Highland, extremely smooth, very easy to drive. But the Model Y is great if you have a family, if you have a lot of room, if you want a lot of room to just bring your luggage, bring your kids, bring whatever you may have into your car. The Model Y is a great car. So if you have a family, I suggest the Model Y because it is the same price or even cheaper than the Model 3 when you have that $7,500 rebate for your federal. And depending where you are in the United States, you may even have another rebate for your state, especially like states like Colorado. Comparing the Model 3 to the Model X is a very, very smooth suspension, probably just as smooth as that new Model 3. However, the Model X is a lot more expensive. If you have the money, I say buy the Model X because that also qualifies for that $7,500 rebate. So just get that Model X, use that on your rebate, and then you'll have a really great car for around $7,200. But keep in mind, if you do buy the Model X, you can only get that configuration with 5 seats, and it has to be a long range with the wheels included, with the not the upgrade wheels, but more so the wheels that were included in the purchase. So you get the Model X with that 5-seater. It is a much more premium car. However, you will be paying around $20,000 or $30,000 more compared to the Model 3 Highland if you purchase that new Model X. So those are kind of your options. Do I recommend getting the new Model 3 compared to the 2021, 2022, 2023 version? Absolutely. 2024 version, I was like, oh, we'll just see if it's better. It's like way better, above and beyond better, just because the suspension's so smooth, the interior is very nice, and I enjoy the new user interface within the car. Not having stocks is really nice. Acceleration feels great, and this is all just driving the standard range version of it, the rear-wheel drive version of it, not the fancy long-range version of it, which I will drive next. So in my opinion, if you're going to buy a new car and you want something small, nimble, Model 3 2024 Highland is the way to go. I think it's the best starter EV. Same thing with MKBHD was saying, the best starter EV. And I really recommend this car. I had a great time driving it. And to be honest with you, I might even trade the Model S for this. or I might even get a Cybertruck. We'll see. But overall, 10 out of 10. Really enjoyed driving this car. Excited to drive the long range Model 3, and I'll get that for you guys soon on the channel. So I appreciate you watching, Jello family. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We're growing so fast. We're about to become a partner on YouTube. So I appreciate you guys. See you later, Jello fam. Have an amazing day. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Peace.